Hello everyone. Today we are starting with a new topic in our course Clinical Microbiology for MSc Part 2 in Core Compulsory Theory Paper 9. Our topic for today is Determinants of Microbial Pathogenicity. In this, we'll be mainly covering bacterial resistance to host defense. In the topic bacterial resistance to host defenses, we'll be mainly focusing on the process of evasion or resistance to phagocytosis by bacteria. Overcoming the host phagocytic defenses. Microorganisms which are trying to invade the living tissue are first and foremost exposed to phagocytes. Our immune system is very responsive to entry of any foreign entity inside the body. Once it detects the presence of any pathogen inside the body, it generates an immune response. For bacteria to successfully invade and bring about an overwhelming infection, they need to identify some breaches in the immune system. After identifying the breaches, many bacteria are known to exploit these breaches and show a certain resistance to the immune system, which may include resistance to phagocytosis, resistance to non-specific and specific humoral factors. First and foremost, the bacteria are exposed to phagocytes. Bacteria which readily attract phagocytes or are easily ingested and killed are generally unsuccessful as parasites. On the contrast, many bacteria which can successfully evade or kill the phagocytes are more potent as parasites. Before we move on with strategies to evade phagocytosis, let us see in brief the process of phagocytosis. As you can see in the diagram, in the first step, the bacterium attaches itself to the pseudopodia. The next step is ingestion inside the particular cell, which causes the formation of a phagosome. The third step is the fusion of phagosome with a lysosome. This is known as a phagolysosome. The fourth step is digestion or killing of the ingested organism. And the fifth step is release of the debris out from the cell. So we can conclude that by the process of phagocytosis, the immune system successfully brings about killing of pathogens. Resistance to phagocytosis. Microbial strategy to avoid killing by phagocytosis are numerous and diverse, but they are usually aimed to block one of the steps in the phagocytic process. These steps can either be contact between the phagocyte and the microbial cells, certain bacteria may prevent getting engulfed, or after engulfment may lyse the cell and emerge out victorious. The third strategy which can be adapted is inhibition of phagosome formation. The fourth strategy is inhibition of phagosome lysosome fusion, and the fifth strategy is bringing about killing of the phagocyte. So you can see bacteria have exploited almost each and every step in phagocytosis and have become resistant to it. The first strategy which we are going to talk about in detail is avoiding contact with phagocytosis. Bacteria can avoid contact by phagocytosis in a number of ways. The first one being invade or remain confined in regions where they are inaccessible to the phagocytes, that is, hiding in certain areas so that they go undetected by the phagocytes. They can hide in certain internal tissues such as lumen of glands or surface tissues such as the skin, which is not patrolled by phagocytes. The second strategy to avoid contact is to avoid provoking an inflammatory response. Some pathogens induce minimal or no inflammation, thus completely avoiding phagocytic defenses. The third strategy is to inhibit phagocyte chemotaxis or movement of phagocytes at the site or point of entry. One such mechanism is adapted by Staphylococcus. Staphylococcus secretes an enzyme known as streptolysin. Streptolysin suppresses neutrophil chemotaxis even when present in a very low concentration. Mycobacterium tuberculosis are known to inhibit leukocyte migration at the site of entry. In a similar way, Clostridium toxin also inhibits the movement of neutrophils at the site of wound or infection, thus avoiding getting phagocytosed. The fourth strategy is to hide the antigenic surface of the cell wall. Some pathogens can cover the surface of the bacterial cells with components which are seen as self by the host phagocytes and the immune system. Due to this, the phagocytes cannot effectively recognize the bacteria even if they come in contact with these bacteria, thus reducing the possibility of opsonization by antibodies, hence increasing the chances of survival. An example for such mechanism is adapted by the pathogenic strains of Staphylococcus aureus. Staphylococcus produces cell-bound coagulases. These cell-bound coagulases clot fimbriae on the bacterial surface. Trypanosoma pallidum binds fibronectin to its surface. Fibronectin is a component of the cell's extracellular matrix. Group A streptococci are known to synthesize a capsule which is composed of hyaluronic acid, The second important phenomena is avoiding phagocytic engulfment. Many bacteria employ the strategy to avoid ingestion by phagocytes. If the phagocytes do not make contact with them, they can easily prevent this step. Many important pathogenic bacteria have substances on their surface which inhibit the adsorption of phagocytes, thus preventing engulfment. Resistance to phagocytic ingestion is mainly due to components of bacterial cell wall, fimbriae or capsule which encloses the bacterial cell wall. One such example is the capsular components. Capsular components of Neisseria and Bacillus are antiphagocytic, that is, they prevent the fusion of or attachment of the phagocyte to the cell wall. Some examples of antiphagocytic substances are as follows. The polysaccharide capsule of Streptococcus pneumoniae, Haemophilus influenza, Trypanosoma pallidum and Klebsiella pneumoniae are all antiphagocytic. The M protein and fimbriae of group A Streptococci is also antiphagocytic, preventing phagocytic engulfment of Streptococci. Surface slime, that is similar to the capsule, is produced by Pseudomonas aeruginosa, the O antigen associated with the lipopolysaccharide of E. coli and the K antigen of E. coli or the Vi antigen of Salmonella typhi are all antiphagocytic in nature. The cell-bound or associated protein A produced by Staphylococcus aureus is also known to have antiphagocytic activity, thus preventing engulfment by phagocytes. Survival inside phagocytes. Some bacteria survive inside the phagocytic cells such as neutrophils or macrophages. Bacteria which have the capability to resist killing or survive and multiply inside the phagocytes are considered as intercellular parasites. The environment of the phagocyte is a protective one, hence protecting the bacteria during early stages of infection until they are competent enough to have a full-fledged virulent system. The intercellular environment hence protects the bacteria from the activities of extracellular bactericides, drugs or antibodies. Many intercellular parasites hence have a special genetically coded mechanism to get themselves into the host cell as well as a special mechanism to survive once they are inside the cell. Intercellular parasites usually survive by the virtue of mechanisms which interfere with the bactericidal activities of the host cells. We will discuss some of these mechanisms, which include inhibition of phagolysosome fusion, survival inside the phagosome, and escape from the phagosome. Inhibition of phagosome and lysosome fusion. The bacteria survive inside the phagosome as they have the capacity to prevent the fusion of phagosome and lysosome. They do so by preventing the discharge of lysosomal contents, which include many acidic hydrolases, into the phagosome environment. Specifically, phagosome formation can also be inhibited inside a particular phagocytic cell. Chlamydia adapts one such strategy by entering directly into the cytoplasm and avoiding the phagolysosome fusion altogether. In this diagram, you can see bacteria is secreting certain enzymes which prevent the fusion of phagosome and lysosome. Yet another mechanism adapted by Staphylococcus aureus. Staphylococcus aureus has secretory immunoglobulin A mediated antiphagocytic activity by binding to the IgG Fc receptor sites. By doing so, they diminish the FcR mediated opsonization and phagocytosis. Trypanosoma gondii are the parasites which replicate inside the macrophages and secrete enzymes which inhibit phagosome-lysosome fusion. The next strategy adapted by a number of bacteria is surviving inside the phagolysosome. Many intercellular parasites, the phagosome-lysosome fusion occurs, but the bacteria are resistant to inhibition and killing by the lysosome constituents. Some extracellular pathogens can resist killing in the phagocytes. One such example is of Leishmania, which proliferate without multiplying, triggering phagocytic respiratory burst activity. As you can see, in this case, there is fusion of phagosome and lysosome, but the bacteria are resistant to the attack of phagosomal lysosomal enzymes. Very little is known about the mechanism of resisting this phagocytic killing which takes place inside the phagocytic vacuole. But many people have proposed that surface components of the bacteria or certain extracellular substances secreted by these bacteria produce interference with the mechanism of phagocytic killing. Bacillus anthracis, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Streptococcus aureus possess mechanisms to survive intercellular killing in the macrophages. The third strategy adapted to survive inside a phagocyte is escaping the phagosome. Early escape from phagosome vacuoles for growth and virulence of intercellular pathogens is a clever trick adapted by many virulent strains of pathogens. One such pathogen is Rickettsia. Rickettsia produces phospholipase enzyme which is having the capability to lyse the phagosome membrane within 30 seconds after its ingestion, meaning that even if it is ingested into the phagosome, they secrete enzymes which enable its freeing and re-entry into the cell by bringing about lysis of the phagosome membrane. Phagosome interferences. Many parasites interfere with the process of phagocytosis and activation of oxidative killing mechanisms. Plasmodium is the parasite which causes malaria, is known to synthesize histidine-rich proteins. These histidine-rich proteins are potent reactive oxygen inhibitors or scavengers. Another example is of trypanosoma, which rupture the phagolysosome, avoid low pH and high concentration of lysosomal hydrolases. Many bacterial products have the ability to kill the phagocytes. Direct attack by the bacteria upon professional phagocytes is one very obvious strategy. Aggressins are substances which are produced by pathogens and can cause damage to the phagocytes. Extracellular enzymes or toxins which kill the phagocytes are examples of such aggressins. Phagocytes may be killed by the pathogen before ingestion, or they can also be killed by the pathogen after being ingested inside the cell. Killing phagocytes before ingestion. There are many gram-positive pathogens which adapt this particular strategy of killing phagocytes before ingestion. Pyogenic cocci are one of them. They are known to secrete extracellular enzymes. These enzymes will kill the phagocytes. One such enzyme is the hemolysin. Hemolysins are those enzymes which have the capability to bring about lysis of the red blood cells. Pathogenic streptococci is yet another example. Strains of pathogenic streptococci are known to produce streptolysin O. Streptolysin O has the ability to bind to cholesterol in the membrane of the host cells. The effect of such binding is on neutrophils to cause lysosomal granules inside them to explode and releasing its content inside the cytoplasm. Many strains of pathogenic staphylococci are known to produce leucocidins. Leucocidins also act on neutrophil membranes. They too cause discharge of lysosomal granules inside the cell, thus killing the cells before they are ingested. Another example of bacterial extracellular proteins which are involved in inhibiting the process of phagocytosis include exotoxin A production by Pseudomonas aeruginosa. This toxin helps in killing the macrophages. Bacterial endotoxins which have adenylate cyclase such as the anthrax toxin, edema factor or the pertuasis adenylate cyclase will effectively decrease the phagocytic activity. Killing phagocytes after ingestion. A number of bacteria can exert their toxic action on the phagocyte after ingestion inside the phagocyte has taken place. These bacteria grow inside the phagosomes, that is, utilize the nutrients of the host cells residing inside the phagosomes. after which they release substances which can pass through the membrane of the phagosome. These substances lead to discharge of lysosomal granules. Not only this, many intercellular bacteria can also grow in the phagolysosome and release toxic substances which pass through the membrane of phagolysosome to another target sites in the cell, bringing about a target oriented killing. Many bacteria which are intercellular parasites of macrophages such as Mycobacterium, Brucella, Listeria usually destroy these macrophages at the end, but the mechanism of how they do so is not quite clear. From this, we can conclude that bacteria have adapted a number of strategies to either evade or become resistant to phagocytosis by exploiting almost each and every step involved in the process. Hence, it is an important mechanism of immune evasion. The main reference used is Mechanism of Bacterial Pathogenicity by. Thank you.